Tonight on EKB Evening News at 6, Mother Nature packs a 1-2 punch as creeks rise and hillsides fall. Good evening, I'm Cindy Mae Johnson.
And I'm Gary Sloan. Heavy rainfall overnight and this morning caused high water problems across the region today, resulting in widespread flooding in low-lying areas.
It didn't take long for local streams to overflow their banks and cover roads. Officials throughout the region reported numerous lane and road closures, as well as stranded motorists who made the bad decision to try to drive across covered roads.
And we now go to EKB Chief Meteorologist Lathan Hopkins, who can tell us whether we are likely to see even more problems tonight. Lathan?
We very well could see more problems overnight tonight. We do have more rain that will begin to move closer to the region here over the next couple of hours. We'll start things off with the flood warnings that we still have in effect some 12 hours later. Flood warning until midnight, a little after midnight, 12:15 for Floyd County, Pike County, southern parts of McGoffin County, and northern parts of Knott County. This includes Prestonsburg, Martin, Wheelwright, Pikeville, even near Williamson, Paw Paw, Phelps, Elkhorn City, all included in that flood warning until 12:15 tonight. On top of that, we have another flood warning, this one for Inez and Martin County, Johnson County, including Paintsville, and northern parts of McGoffin County, including Salyersville. This goes until 9:30 this evening. And of course, on top of that, we have to watch for the potential of severe weather. A tornado watch is in effect for all of eastern Kentucky. This goes until midnight tonight. Here's what we have going on. Notice all the showers and thunderstorms throughout central and now moving into eastern parts of Kentucky. That's what we have to watch for. The possibility of locally heavy rainfall yet again, the possibility of damaging winds, large hail, and yes, the potential is there for an isolated tornado. The heaviest rain for now is just off to our north from Lawrence County into Elliott County, Rowan County. But you folks in Paintsville, get ready. You could be dealing with some heavy rain here within the next hour or so. I'll have a complete look at your forecast coming up in just a little bit.
It has been quite a day. More than the flooding, a bigger problem around the region was unstable hillsides. Just after 11 this morning, a slide at Shelbyana in Pike County pushed a church completely off its foundation. Members of the Ratliff Old Regular Baptist Church were joined by local residents to salvage what they could from inside the church. Members of the 80-year-old church were devastated when they learned of this Good Friday disaster.
Everything is gone. Everything is tore up. This is our home. And everything is gone. It's tore up. The whole building is just tore up. We're going to try to salvage what we can, but that's the best we can do.
They may have lost the building, but the congregation hasn't lost its faith. Members told us they will find a place to gather and worship on Easter Sunday.
A Prestonsburg highway closed this morning after being swallowed by an enormous mudslide. EKB's Shelby Steele was on the scene and brings us this report.
An enormous mudslide rained down on Route 321 this morning, completely covering both lanes of traffic. The road will remain closed for an indefinite amount of time, as transportation officials are not sure how long it will take to clear it.
We got the page around about 9:30, so we was able to respond by at least 9:45, maybe a few minutes, give or take. There was a vehicle that it had slid into. There was no damage to the vehicle. He was able to drive it home for the most part. He wasn't injured.
With more rain in the forecast, officials are warning that more mud and debris could fall off the mountain.
There's a possibility if we get more rain tonight, there's probably more that's going to come off with it. I don't know if it would spread on up towards us or back down the road or what, but there's a possibility.
Transportation officials are not sure what sort of material is under the slide or if it is finished falling yet, so they cannot estimate how long it will take to clear. However, they plan to begin work on it Saturday morning. For EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Shelby Steele.
The Big Sandy chapter of the American Red Cross has an emergency shelter set up at Pike Central High School. The school was chosen because of its central location. Showers, restrooms, food, and sleeping areas are there for those who might need a place to stay. Emerson Varney with the American Red Cross says there's not a huge need at this time, but they're prepared if things get worse.
We have a shelter set up at Pike Central here in Pike County on Buckley's Creek Road in the gymnasium. We'll be able to house and feed those that was affected by a mudslide down on Hurricane, or anybody else that may have been flooded out during this rain we had this morning. And we did have some high waters.
If you need transportation to the emergency shelter, call Emergency Management at 606-437-4126.
In Floyd County, a school bus taking students home after classes dismissed early encountered a problem in McDowell. The bus was driving through water on Route 680 when it slipped off the side of the road and into deeper water. Officials tell us that all the students made it off the bus without incident and are safe at home tonight.
It's a scary thing that happened.
Absolutely.
The already problematic Pikeville bypass encountered more trouble today. A portion of the road has been closed for nearly a month after an enormous rockfall. Today, more rocks fell in a different location. EKB News reporter Shelby Steele was at the scene.
The Pikeville bypass was closed for part of the day today due to another rock slide just in front of the store, Remember Me. This slide wasn't as large as the previous slide from March 17th, but was just as significant. Public Safety Director Paul Maynard says this area is prone to slides.
This morning we got a complaint of a rock slide on the bypass road, and it's kind of near the affected area from earlier where we had the big boulder come off. We had several large rocks, several small rocks come off. One of the rocks actually crossed the bypass and went into the adjacent store just across the street.
Store manager Juanita Lyons says everyone was lucky during the slide.
The owner of the store was in her office, and she thought that a rock had actually, or a car had come through the window of the store. It hit so hard. And then there was a big rock laying inside the store. No one was hurt. Thank God for that. People need to be careful over through here today.
Maynard says this area isn't new to slides and everyone should remain cautious.
The main thing that you got to know, don't drown, turn around. I mean, it's just that simple. If you come up on high water, turn around and go back the other way. It takes very little water to move your car. And once your car starts moving, it becomes a very dangerous situation, and you're putting your life in danger. You're going to put the rescues in danger also, who's coming to rescue you.
Maynard adds that sometimes you can prepare yourself in order to know when a slide will occur.
You could possibly hear noises coming from the rock slide. You could hear the rocks actually falling. My rule of thumb is if you see rock already down, it's probably a good chance more rock's going to come. The best thing to do is just avoid it altogether. Don't put yourself in that position.
For EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Shelby Steele.
Coming up, a processing plant is being sued after a neighbor who never worked in the mines was diagnosed with black lung disease.
And a problem area on US 460 will soon be getting a $5 million fix. We'll be back in 2 minutes with details.
Construction crews will soon get to work on a multi-million-dollar project to improve safety along a very dangerous section of US 460 in Pike County. EKB News reporter Shannon Deskins found out what we can expect when work begins on the Millard Curve later this year.
Those who travel US 460 through the Millard area in Pike County will soon see work beginning on the Millard Curve project. This particular curve is widely known to be one of the most dangerous curves in the county, with numerous injury and fatality crashes occurring there in recent years. Highway Department officials have acknowledged that something needed to be done about this section of roadway, but just didn't have the funding in place.
We pretty much knew we would take the next step, which is to have a construction project that would either soften the curve or eliminate it altogether. We knew that when we put up the advanced warning flashers and the new signage, but we also didn't have a project at that point in the state highway plan. So even though we knew we wanted to do a project here, we didn't have a guaranteed commitment of the funding.
George explained that both the design phase and the right-of-way acquisitions for the project are already complete and utility relocation is nearly finished. The project was recently awarded to Greer Mining, who will begin clearing brush and trees from the site sometime this month. The start date for the actual work to relocate the road hasn't been determined yet, but the contractor has been given the date the project must be complete.
We don't know when the hard start date will be. That's dependent upon a lot of things, such as schools, such as materials delivery, such as weather. But the completion date is June of 2016.
Total construction costs for the Millard Curve project are just under $5 million. For the EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Shannon Deskins.
An Iville couple is blaming a neighborhood coal processing plant after one of them contracted black lung disease. Emma Burchip says she was diagnosed in November, even though she has never worked in a coal mine. Instead, she blames high amounts of coal dust generated by a nearby processing plant owned by Prater Creek Coal. She and her husband Leroy filed suit in Floyd Circuit Court against the coal company earlier this week. They are seeking compensatory and punitive damages.
On a brighter note, the Easter Bunny, you may know him as Peter Cottontail, will be in Pikeville tomorrow starting at noon. There will be egg hunts in the Pikeville City Park for 3 different age groups. Children 12 years and younger can win prizes and receive lots of candy at the event. The annual Easter Extravaganza is a production of East Kentucky Broadcasting with a presenting sponsor, Pikeville Medical Center.
Well, if you're looking for an early start to your weekend next week, the Floyd County Library shows free movies every Thursday evening. EKB News reporter Courtney Lovern went to last night's show and brings us this report.
At the Floyd County Public Library in Prestonsburg, Kentucky, a free movie night was held on Thursday evening. The event was open to the general public and featured the recently released Disney movie Into the Woods.
What we try to do is get a movie that is just released from on DVD, and we play it for those who missed it out at the theaters, okay? Sometimes it's a family-oriented movie, sometimes it's an action-oriented movie. I mix it up.
Reno also explained how this event helps the community.
It's a good way to get out of the home. I'm telling teenagers, if you're bored, come here, and we'll give you something to do. We'll give you a safe place to be.
One young attendee explained her experience at Free Movie Night thus far.
Are you excited for this movie?
Yes.
What's your favorite part about this whole thing?
The beach.
The next free movie will be on April 9th at 6 p.m. and the movie Boyhood will be shown. Reporting for EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Courtney Lovern.
Sounds like a good time. Coming up, Kentucky took to the court for opening practice in Indianapolis. Jamie Johnson will be in to bring us details on the Cats and the Final Four in sports.
But first, EKB Chief Meteorologist Lathan Hopkins will be back to give us more details on this weather situation. We'll be back in just 2 minutes.
Well, it has been a very busy weather day.
That's an understatement.
Indeed, we have had flash flood warnings, we've had flood warnings, and now we have tornado watches to deal with across the area. And we're going to go into details on everything that you need to know. First with the Doppler radar, and we will start out taking a look at who's picking up what as of right now. And the heaviest of the rain is just to our north across parts of Lawrence County, over toward Elliott County and Morgan County. That's where we will zoom into first, and you can see some of this very heavy rain. This is very similar to what we had earlier this morning, falling over the same areas over and over. We call that training. It's just like a railroad car. It just keeps coming one little cell after another. So Louisa over to Sandy Hook. But notice from Paintsville up toward Flat Gap, it is very possible that you guys could get brushed by the southern part of this little cell as it continues to move off to the east. Farther south we go toward the Big Sandy, Pikeville, Elkhorn City to Martin, still picking up some light rain at this hour. Now, the satellite and radar composite, we had a nice little break this afternoon, but there you see another round of showers and thunderstorms moving in from central parts of Kentucky and moving east. One thing that I'm really noticing is all the showers that developed ahead of the main line of storms trying to weaken those somewhat. Now we still have that tornado watch in effect for all of eastern Kentucky. This is Paintsville, Pikeville, Prestonsburg, Salyersville, even down toward Whitesburg. That tornado watch will go all the way through midnight tonight. We will keep you up to date with the latest on that. The flood warnings until a little after midnight for Pike County, Floyd County, southern Magoffin, and northern Knott counties. This is Prestonsburg, Martin, Wayland, Wheelwright, Pikeville, even over toward Phelps. This flood warning again goes until 12:15 tonight. To the north, Johnson County, Martin County, and northern parts of Magoffin County, that flood warning will expire for now at 9:30. But of course, if we get that heavier rain to continue to move over that region, we could see that extended as well. The flash flood watch in effect for all of eastern Kentucky. This means that, of course, conditions are favorable for flooding for the rest of the area all the way until 11 o'clock tonight. And for you folks in Mingo County, Logan County, Buchanan County, Dickinson County, that flood watch will run until 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is what the computer forecasting models suggest will happen overnight tonight. You'll see about 10 o'clock or so, we will be done with this. This system will continue to move off to the east. As it does so, area of high pressure moves in, and it's actually going to set the stage for a nice weekend after a very, very active day across the region. Now, one thing the rain will do is to lower the pollen count, but the weekend with the drier weather moving in, the pollen count will increase. And this is, of course, brought to you by Faith Pharmacy, Adams Plaza in Pikeville. Tomorrow at 8.4, and then back into or approaching the high category Sunday into Monday. 53 degrees for tomorrow, a big drop in temperatures. 43 will be the overnight low tonight, but 65 still looking very nice for Easter Sunday. We will see a few more clouds move in for the second half of the day before more showers and thunderstorms move in Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. But those sunrise services could be frosty. We could see temperatures in the low 30s Sunday morning. But we will keep you up to date with all of the watches, all the warnings throughout the evening.
So what's the outlook for how many eggs Gary will find at the hunt?
Somewhere between a dozen, maybe 2.
That's
reasonable. Because he's going to knock the kids out of the way. You know how he is.
I know, I do.
You know.
Yeah. Well, last night, EKB outdoor expert Ronnie Hilton gave us a fishing forecast for area lakes. Now, in the follow-up tonight, he focuses on smallmouth fishing local rivers.
The redbuds are blooming and the smallmouth are biting in our local rivers. Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife officials give us an overview of where some of the best river smallmouth fishing is in our region.
With the smallmouth bass, with the sampling we do with our electrofishing boats, we got a lot of good opportunities. Leviza Fork, Russell Fork, Tug Fork. There's different areas that'll be more productive. With the Leviza Fork, be more productive, especially for a bigger smallmouth. Russell Fork is well known. It maybe gets more fishing pressure, but still really good smallmouth fishing. With the Tug Fork, watch the different habitat you have, but the fish have been doing well in the Matewan area. There's a couple other locations too. Tug Fork in Leviza Fork have been producing bigger fish for us versus Russell Fork. Russell Fork, the big fish tend to top out 18 to 20, but on Leviza and Tug, we're getting 21, 22, 23-inch fish.
With the Leviza, Russell, and Tug Fork rivers being only a short drive for most anglers in the area, there is no shortage of river smallmouth action. For EKB Evening News at 6, I'm Ronnie Hilton.
And I'm still taking notes.
Yeah, I wondered, are you a fisherman?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We'll be back with sports in 2 minutes.
Okay, guys, how eager are you all for tomorrow night?
I can't wait, Gary. How about you?
I cannot wait. The countdown is on.
Definitely so. Tom Petty, he once sang a song that the waiting is the hardest part. Well, no truer words have ever been sung for Kentucky fans who are waiting patiently as Kentucky prepares for their Final Four rematch with Wisconsin a little more than 24 hours from now. The Wildcats are able to hold AP Player of the Year Frank the Tank Kaminsky to only 8 points in last year's 74-73 victory. Yesterday, John Calipari expressed his concern for Kaminsky and the Badgers. Today, Carl Anthony Towns and Andrew Harrison echoed those same sentiments. Kentucky is currently a 5-point favorite as they continue their pursuit of perfection. Game time is set for 8:49 p.m. We'll have coverage beginning at 7 p.m. on 93.1 WDHR and Classic Rock 103.1. and that comes up tomorrow night. Now, Michigan State and Duke will meet in the national semifinal. The first game tomorrow at 6:09 p.m. with the winner meeting the Wildcats on Monday night. Yes, I called it Monday night. The Wildcats hopefully will be there. Today, Coach Calipari was named the Associated Press Coach of the Year, receiving 40 of 65 votes, and in the process becomes the third Kentucky coach to win the award. Eddie Sutton captured the honor in 1986, while Tubby Smith was the last Wildcats coach to take home the award in 2003. When asked about the accolades he has received and how he avoids coaching burnout, Cal was straightforward about his intentions on the sidelines.
I don't live and die with this stuff. The people that know me know I have other interests. I'm focused on helping these kids reach their dreams. Their dreams are my dreams. I sit on the same side of the table as them and their families. Want to win for the university I work for, want to win for the program. But the reality of it is our season ends June 28th here.
This is the first time Calipari has been named Coach of the Year by the press. Now, Calipari's predecessor, Billy Clyde Gillespie, made headlines today. The disgraced former Wildcat coach was named the head basketball coach at Ranger Junior College, Gillespie's alma mater. Now, before you dig into Google Maps, Ranger College is located 90 miles west of Fort Worth, Texas. I wanted to save you the trouble. Billy Clyde played at Ranger from 1978 to 1980. This is his first coaching position since resigning from Texas Tech in 2012. Time for some highlights. Shelby Valley hosting East Ridge, and Robinson Creek will pick this up in the third inning last night, tied at 1. Valley's Mackenzie Johnson to pitch. And, of course, innocently enough, a ground out. Next, Kaylee Sloan for the Lady Warriors with a C&I single down the third base line. East Ridge was in business. They say trouble comes in pairs. Leslie Fleener here. She would reach base. Now there's runners on the corners here, first and third, with one out. Here's your trouble. The pass ball here, it would take Sloan going from third to home to score. That would snap the tie. Shelby Valley, though, would rally with defense. Kaylee Tackett with the grab in left field. She would double up Fleener at second base. Get the Lady Cats out of the pickle, yet East Ridge would hang on for the 3-2 victory, their third win of the season. Other softball scores from last night. Jenkins defeated Sheldon Clark in 5 innings, 12-1. Paintsville shut out Betsy Lane 10-zip, also in 5 innings. Riverview, West Virginia, edged Phelps 8-7, and Johnson Central defeated Gatlinburg Pittman 8-1 in the Sevier County tournament. Baseball scores a light schedule because of weather. Last night, Magoffin County defeated Jenkins 7-2, and South Floyd knocked off Phelps 7-1. Finally, speaking of baseball, Major League Baseball returns to Montreal tonight as the Reds will play the Toronto Blue Jays in exhibition play. The game is less than about the action on the field and more about the setting of the game tonight. Since the Expos pulled out of Montreal in 2005, baseball fans in the city have made it known that they would enjoy a second chance to support a Major League franchise. Tonight's attendance is expected to be 50,000 fans, with another 40,000 fans in attendance tomorrow afternoon. The Reds will take the field for real opening day Monday, 4:10 p.m. against the Pirates. And you can hear it on 98.1, 104.3, the Oldies Radio Network, your home for Reds baseball. And that's a look at sports.
So I guess the weather today did cost us some games.
A little bit. We were going to try to do some UPIKE baseball earlier today. Yeah, rain didn't cooperate for much, but
at least it's not here for the egg hunt.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Well, Lathan, as the weather continues to develop, you're going to be right on top of it throughout the night.
And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for that storm that we were talking about getting ready to move into Johnson County. Northern Johnson County and northwestern Martin County, a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 7 o'clock this evening. Winds up to 60 miles per hour and penny-sized hail a possibility. This includes Flat Gap, this includes Inez, Warfield, just some of the communities impacted.
Important stuff to look out for.
We'll keep you posted.
All right, and since we're talking about weather, in terms of sports, any play-by-play action for like the Easter buffet?
Depends, you know, who's leading off, who's batting cleanup, you know, better be some stuff left on the buffet Sunday.
Got it.
Could be fun.
Well, that will do it for tonight's EKB Evening News. Remember, you can get more local news anytime by listening to the radio stations of East Kentucky Broadcasting.
You can also follow EKB News and EKB TV on Facebook and Twitter. We end tonight with a conclusion to our week-long look at the Community Holy Week services at Pikeville United Methodist Church. Today's featured music was by Kristen Preston of Coletown, Dixie. We want to thank you for joining us with this first week of EKB TV's Evening News. Have a safe and happy Easter weekend. We'll be back Monday night. Thanks for watching.